What happens when a tennis player is just one step away from victory? And suddenly, everything starts to go wrong. Alex Eala was cruising. She had taken control against Katie McNally, won the opening set, and looked ready to finish the match in straight sets. But then came the moment that changed everything. A sudden fall. A painful-looking right foot problem. A medical timeout. And suddenly, the momentum completely shifted. What followed was one of the toughest fights of Alex Eala's recent run. She wasn't playing at her best anymore. She wasn't moving as freely. And McNally wasn't going away. But Alex refused to surrender. She kept fighting. She kept competing. And when the match reached its decisive moment, Eala found something deeper than just her tennis. She found another level of mental strength. This is the story of how Alex Eala survived one of the most dramatic matches of her Canadian Open campaign. The match starts with EALA in control. Alex Eala entered this match carrying enormous momentum. Just days earlier, she had made history in Washington, D.C., becoming the first Filipino player to win a WTA Tour level singles title after defeating Jessica Pegula in the final. Now, instead of celebrating that historic achievement for long, Eala was back on court in Toronto. Her opponent was American Katie McNally. And from the beginning, this was never going to be an easy match. McNally has the ability to disrupt rhythm, extend rallies, and force opponents to work for every point. But Eala came out aggressive. She attacked from the baseline. She looked for opportunities to dictate play. And slowly, she began to take control. The first set went Eala's way. She won it 6-3. At that moment, the situation looked very promising. One more set. One more push. And Alex would be through. But tennis can change in seconds. Warning, then everything changed. The second set became the turning point. Eala was still competing strongly, but during the set she took a tumble. The fall affected her right foot, and she needed attention before continuing. That moment changed the entire atmosphere of the match. Suddenly, every movement mattered. Every change of direction became more difficult. Every long rally demanded even more concentration. And McNally recognized the opportunity. She stayed aggressive. She kept making Eala work. The American refused to let the match disappear. Eala had been in control. Now she was being tested physically and mentally. This was no longer simply about hitting better tennis balls. It was about staying composed when the situation suddenly became uncomfortable. Collision. McNally fights back. McNally took advantage of the momentum shift. The second set became a completely different battle. Eala had chances. She pushed. She fought. But McNally kept answering. And eventually, the American took the second set 7-5. Just like that, the match was tied. One set apiece. Everything would now come down to a deciding third set. And after what had happened to Eala's foot, there were obvious questions. Could she still move well enough? Could she maintain her level? Could she survive another long set? And most importantly, could she finish the match? This was no longer just about tennis. The third set became a test of Eala's mentality. She had every reason to feel frustrated. She had been so close to finishing the match in straight sets. Instead, she was now facing a deciding set after dealing with an injury scare. But Eala didn't allow the situation to control her emotions. She stayed focused. Point by point. Game by game. She continued to compete. And that's where this match became so impressive. Because sometimes the strongest performance isn't the one where everything goes perfectly. Sometimes it's the performance where everything goes wrong. And you still find a way forward. The final set becomes a battle. The deciding set was tense. Neither player wanted to give anything away. McNally kept fighting. Eala kept searching for openings. There were long rallies, momentum swings, pressure-packed games, and every point became more valuable. Eala wasn't simply trying to play beautiful tennis anymore. She was trying to survive. She was trying to create enough opportunities to close the match. And eventually, she managed to find the breakthrough. The pressure shifted back toward McNally. But the American continued to fight. There was no easy ending. No comfortable finish. No quick escape. Face screaming in fear, Eala gets the chance to close it. Then came another huge moment. Eala had the opportunity to serve for the match. This was the moment she had been waiting for. After fighting through the injury. After losing the second set. After surviving the pressure of the deciding set. She was finally close. But McNally wasn't finished. The American produced a huge response and forced the match to continue. Suddenly, the pressure was back on Eala. This is where many players can panic. But Alex stayed composed. Instead of allowing frustration to take over, she reset. She went back to the basics. 1 point. Then another. Then another. And slowly, the finish line came closer. Crystal ball, what comes next? Now the question is simple. How far can Alex Eala go in Toronto? She has already survived a dramatic 3-set battle against McNally. But the next challenge will be even more demanding. The round of 16 awaits. And after this physically demanding match, recovery will be crucial. Eala has already shown that she can beat major names. She has already proven that she can win a WTA title. And now she has shown another quality. She can survive adversity. The Canadian Open is getting more interesting with every round. And Alex Eala is right in the middle of it. Alex Eala didn't win this match because everything went perfectly. She won because when things suddenly became difficult, she refused to disappear. From a 6-3 opening set, to a 5-7 setback, to a dramatic 6-4 deciding set, Alex Eala fought until the very end. This was more than a tennis victory. It was a statement of resilience, a statement of belief, and another reminder that Alex Eala is becoming one of the most fascinating young stars in women's tennis. So what do you think? Can Alex Eala make another deep run in Toronto after this incredible fight? Let us know your prediction in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Alex Eala, Coco Gauff, and the latest tennis news. Because Alex Eala's journey is far from over. And the next chapter could be even bigger.